With her familiar white jacket with her own name tag, Chef Jen returns with more foods that she calls uncommon, with her goal of making them common.
Absolutely.
Is that kind of like your goal?
Sure. I just want to tell everybody all about food.
Wouldn't that be wonderful to try every food imaginable to mankind?
I don't know if you could. I don't know if you had enough time to try everything in the world.
Wouldn't that be something, though?
It would be something.
Tasting every food.
Mm-hmm. That's a chef's dream. To travel all over the world, to try all kinds of things, to learn about it.
Why did you want to become a chef?
Oh, it's just in my heart. It's part of who you are,
Did your mom, dad get you involved in cooking?
You know what? That's probably a good reason why I did want to become a chef.
Or you just liked eating?
Yeah, no, my mom was not an amazing cook, although she tried. But that could have been a huge inspiration that there must be more to life than this.
Mom, you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
There's a better way.
There's a better way.
And a tastier way, too.
Yeah, spaghetti and ketchup. Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
I should try that. That sounds good.
Delicious.
Okay, so you bring us stuff that we look at as we walk through the grocery aisles and say to ourselves, you know, and then we're afraid.
Right.
We're afraid to reach out and touch these things. What am I touching? Because this looks eerily familiar.
It is familiar. It's Brussels sprouts, good old-fashioned Brussels sprouts. Now, you will likely not find them on a stalk here in Calgary. I found these at Community Health Foods. Of course, had to show you, because quite often we don't see how things grow. We just see them when they get to us.
When they get to us.
Right. So this is really, really neat. There's quite a few ways to cook this. You could cook it right on the stalk if you wanted to, or you could,
the whole stalk?
Yeah, you could toss it in a little bit of oil, salt, pepper, okay, throw it in the oven, roast it like that. You could use it as, like, you know, I don't know why they don't have this as fair food. You know, just leave the top and carry around your stick.
Brussels sprouts on a stalk.
Douse it in Parmesan cheese, and salt and pepper,
How did they come off? You just pull them
you
off
would
or twist them?
literally just take one.
Take one.
And grab it.
Grab it.
And twist it.
And twist it.
Yeah. Strike with conviction. There, you got to work for it.
Okay.
So maybe a downward motion.
How do I know if they're ripened? Because you know, I always get these things, and sometimes we get them in a package, you know, a frozen food section. But if you get them fresh, how do you know?
If you get them fresh, well, vegetables, Brussels sprouts in particular, quite often don't have a ripeness stage. You want them at their crispiest, unripest, because ripening for vegetables would make them kind of a soft and wilty sort of thing. Fruit you want ripened. But this, you're looking for really deep green leaves.
No kidding.
Yeah, you'll see the outsides of these are in pretty good shape, but quite often I find with a Brussels sprout, once you get it home, you would peel off its outer little leaves.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it would expose a beautiful green flesh inside.
Do you try to, do you like blanching them?
Love blanching them.
Is that the best way to eat them?
I love roasting them. I love grilling them. Yeah. So
why is it kids don't like these?
Well, because sometimes I think moms maybe cook them for a very, very long time until they lose all this
You're
green
blaming
flavor.
the mums of Calgary.
Blame moms, yeah. But if you grill these or roast these, you know, and toss them in some really tasty things, they're a hit. They're super cute too, and they're delicious and incredibly nutritious. They're superfood.
And I like how that rhymed too. That was really good.
I know. I worked on it.
So nutritious and delicious.
Nutritious. Kimchi.
Kimchi.
Okay.
Now, why? So there's a reason why you brought in the Brussels sprouts and the kimchi.
I did. So kimchi is it's a fermented Korean sort of base. So what that is?
Samples?
Yeah, go ahead. So I did kimchi, a little bit of sesame oil, and some edamame beans.
Oh, I love edamame beans.
Yeah, I figured it was morning time. We'd break up the kimchi. So kimchi is it's really, really neat food. It's fermented cabbage. It comes in a variety of flavors and different ingredients. Oh yeah, it packs a punch. Yeah.
Delicious.
So this is something you would mix with, say, your eggs. You could toss into a butter, keep it in the freezer, use it for finishing fish and steaks. This is a great vegetarian option. You'd have to look at the ingredients. Some of them contain fish sauce. It's a good gluten-free option. It's good to make salads with. The sky's the limit. It's a great marinade. But at the end of the day, I brought it because it's fermented cabbage. So fermenting is kind of a process that it's been around for 1,000 and plus years, right? Really neat, something you can do on the countertop at home. Of course, you got to be a little bit careful, but fermenting is neat because it takes you take all of the air out of things by putting it in a salty water sort of brine. Okay. Create like an anaerobic environment, so no air, and all of a sudden all the good microorganisms in there start converting salts or sugars and starches into alcohols and acids. So you've seen fermenting in things like yogurt, cheeses, salamis, wheat turns into beer. These are all styles and types of fermenting. But yeah, so you can ferment Brussels sprouts too. But I brought kimchi today because it's an action-packed punch. You can use it in some.
Delicious.
Yeah. Throw it in some Christmas stuff. Toss it in your eggs.
Well, you know, it's almost like a salsa.
It really is. And that's what it is. It's a side. It's a condiment, right? Now, for those of you, you tasted it. It packs a punch.
I love it, actually.
Got a little bit of heat.
That is tasty.
Tons of garlic.
Yeah, it's got a little kick
I
to
brought
it.
2 for you.
Well, I got to save one for Kate.
Yeah.
Kate likes to eat as well.
It's true, and she likes kimchi. I checked before I came today.
You can find this at any market, the kimchi?
I actually got this at Community Health Foods. You can find it at Safeway. You can find it at any Korean or Asian market.
Okay.
You know, a Canadian version of kimchi is sauerkraut. So you'll see this in a bunch of different forms along the way. But yeah, you can find it just about anywhere. It lasts for a long time in the fridge, and it's actually still very nutritious.
I'm going to try it. When you're looking for kimchi, also look for this young lady too, Chef Jen. And you can find you on Twitter at Chef Jen, and also on Facebook.
Yeah, Chef
Jen Calgary. Chef Jen Calgary. Hey, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Leave that broccoli or
I'm
the
going
Brussels
to.
sprouts. Yeah.
You might need it.
There's a lot of other things happening in and around our city as well, including an evening of seasonal song. Speaking of seasons, George Hale Academy of Music is presenting its annual Christmas concert. This sounds like a lot of fun. It's Saturday, December 6th. Here's the number, 403-245-9545. This is trending on Shaw.